Okay, Audacity is in. From the depths. OBS is in now, which means I can minimize. I hope that's minimized, right? Yes, I can minimize this. Ladies and gentlemen, Newbie Rumble 5, final videos. We're doing the bonus matches. This is going to be a lot more fast and loose than we've done the other ones. I'm not following the same format as Strictly either. I'm just going to throw random things into each other until I get bored. I might not even edit this. That's a lie, I will edit this. First things first. Newbie Rumble 5. First things first will be myself versus Joshi, because that's long overdue. Hopefully I won't have to fast forward it. What was it? It was the Klinken. But don't worry, Null, you're coming up later. Yeah, that looks good. Let's start. I'm going to move my mic a little bit further away from my head, just in case, and yeah. Ooh, particle cannon shot. Did it hit anything? It did not. The Klinken's anti-missiles really piling out here. I wonder if they're the right choice. I know the original Klinken had a large missile launcher back there. In this particular matchup, it might have been big enough to close the distance and do some serious damage. And at the moment, the investment in anti-missiles and anti-torpedoes is actually in excess of what the torpedoes cost for me to launch. So even if I'm not doing any damage, I am winning a material victory. And I believe small launchers cost more than medium launchers too, so I am still actually at an advantage on the missile attack and defense side of things. Ooh. Now that looks like a particle cannon hit. Are those loaders or blocks? Luckily for the Klinken, they're just armor. Ooh. Another hit. Did that take anything out though? That might have hit the same spot and just not done anything. Remarkable. Let's see what kind of damage the Klinken is doing to the Aberrant Wish. Those big shells are absolutely slamming into the armor. Fortunately, the armor is full of spaces, so it's going to take a while to really explode anything. Oh, exploded half of the anti-cram turret. I've got to say, in hindsight, I regret the anti-cram turret. It's adorable, and I think it's hilarious, but it was a waste of about 5,000 materials. Maybe more, it might have been 10,000. I think in the long run I didn't need it. Another one of these would have been good. But again, not super necessary. Have we taken damage to this turret? Ooh. Now there's a solid hit for the Klinken. That APS isn't absolutely critical, but it is a loss. Has the particle cannon landed a decent hit yet? The particle cannon seems to have landed many decent hits, but none that are fatal, and the missiles are struggling to get through the armor. Oh boy. That looks like a loader explosion, magazine explosion. Is it a magazine or a clip explosion? Magazine, I'm guessing. Oh boy. Now that's a magazine explosion. The Klinken is still doing quite well. Only 2% behind the Aberrant Wish. However, it has taken significant weapons damage. And evidently anti-missile damage too. Maybe they just weren't loaded in yet. As that gun starts firing slower and slower, the damage is going to drop off, and it's unlikely to hit the particle cannon. So it's likely that the Aberrant Wish will continue to lead. EMP hit's doing fuck all, but that's okay. EMP's a meme anyway. This might explain the loss of anti-missiles though. If the Klinken's lost its anti-missile detectors due to EMP. So now my missiles are doing damage, but we're no longer winning in material efficiency. Ironic, isn't it? There's another large hit, taking out virtually nothing. Some missiles. This may be a long one. The Aberrant Wish is certainly looking slower in the water. It's pretty likely that the Klinken's shells have knocked out the, Deady Blades. Oh boy. Well, that's the end of the railgun. But at least it's only the railgun we lost. And shells firing at the railgun are not likely to be too critical. The particle cannon looks fine. Shell damage. Interesting. Here's a big hole, but that leads into the missile turret, which seems to be doing okay. What's it aiming at? Bizarre. Let's see. Ah, there's been an AI kill. Oh no, there hasn't. The Aberrant Wish actually has 2 AIs, and that's not even a redundancy thing. The reason I put 2 AIs in it is because I wanted it to be able to use an above water and below water aim point. You'll notice the laser tries to aim above the water, but the particle cannon always hits below the water. Now would be a great time for the particle cannon to illustrate my point. Any moment now. Any moment now. Fine. There we go. Of course, that adds a second AI that can be critically hit, and doubles the amount of AI armor I need, because they're of course spread out. Which isn't ideal. It means that a single hit can knock out half the guns, but it also means a single hit can't kill the entire vehicle, which has its pros. I believe the missiles and torpedoes are also on separate computers. Torpedoes on the underwater aimer and missiles on the above water aimer. Is the Klinken dead yet? No. Despite taking a huge amount of damage and being close to caught out, the Klinken is both still healthy and still firing. The gun is severely depleted. The armor is just chunked, but it's hanging in there. Let's look at that armor, because I was just doing some research on armor. It looks like it's HA and metal. That is a pretty clever armor scheme, actually. I don't like the metal backed by HA. I would have done metal over heavy armor, personally, because I'm not sure it's benefiting from armor stacking back there. But, you know, that's just a petty gripe. There goes another series of detonations. I think it's pretty safe to say that the Klinken is crippled at this stage. The coolers are just ravaged. Are those loaders? Yeah, there would have been things here. Massive holes getting torn in the poor ship. Which is weird, because they all have ejectors on them, I believe. Or they all had ejectors on them. Ooh boy. Was that an AI or a ammo cavity hit? Whatever it was, the Klinken seems to have lost its steering. Quick, before it despawns, let's oh, it's lost all its materials. It must be an AI cavity hit. Not AI cavity, an ammo cavity. Now that is dramatic. Well, with no means to repair, and likely no means of doing damage, it's probably safe to rule the Klinken defeated. But I'll take another quick look at the insides. Make sure all these... See, these don't have ejectors on them. But I believe in... Yeah, here are the ejectors. They all did have ejectors on them at one point, I believe. Or maybe only most of them did. But they get shipped off one by one, and then the detonations begin to stack up. Can the Klinken still fire? Amazingly, I've had something to talk about all 8 minutes, so I might not even have to edit this. So, yeah. This is how this fight goes when you film it properly. Unfortunately, the Klinken is just too vulnerable to particle cannon hits and doesn't have a viable way of knocking out the particle cannon reliably since it prefers to aim above water. So this kind of outcome is tragically almost unavoidable. Which isn't true, because the Klinkens won these fights before, just never this one. And with that nice wrap up, the Klinken is despawning, so that ends this match and I won't have to edit it. Awesome. Now, onto a in-demand match. This one is also for my own ship. This is hopefully going to illustrate how much of these tournaments come down to luck. Because Null's, did it shoot itself again? Ridiculous. Null's Absquita Minis devastates the Aberrant Wish. There's no challenge whatsoever in it. I've tested it a few times. Aberrant Wish lost every single time. And this is how, the reason I bring it up is, to get as far as I did in the tournament was entirely down to luck of not running into Null. And plenty of people that could beat Null would have had trouble against the Aberrant Wish just because of the particle cannon. But Null doesn't have problems with the particle cannon, so Null is likely just going to clap me. Or would have clapped me if we'd ever run into each other. Point is, it all comes down to luck. You can build a really, really good optimized ship, but you can't optimize against everything at once. And that's the moral of the story, I guess. And it's about to be perfectly explained, perfectly demonstrated in nuclear fire. Can't see much, but there's the second detonation. And third. The Aberrant Wish got off surprisingly lightly this time. The whole bow is just shredded. Luckily there was never anything too valuable in there, it was all just stability components. This gun took the hit, fortunately, because that gun was fairly useless. And this is more serious. Every single laser component and all but one Dedi Blade is knocked out, and a lot of fuel engines. I don't believe there was a particle cannon steam thing in here, but there may have been. I think most of the steam is back here. Luckily for me, I still have the... Oh no, we lost the that APS as well. And we're below 80% in sinking. See, case in point. Yeah, it's all luck. I mean, design is part of it. Null's is well designed. I'm not saying Null won because of luck. Null won because his design beat mine. The brackets are luck. Now, where was I? That's the Aberrant Wish done for today. But we wanted to see a Blinding Lights match up against Null's Absquita Minis, I believe. The good thing about Null matches is they end so quickly. Null matches, about Absquita Minis matches. I hope I've been pronouncing that properly. I never got corrected on it. So hopefully it's correct, but we just don't know. Or I just don't know. Null knows. Anyway, Absquita Minis is closing in. The laser probably would be doing a lot if it weren't being reduced by that shield. Does Null have ring shields? I don't believe so. Ooh. That hit would have been great if you'd had high explosive shells and torpedo defense. But this looks like it might be a, Ah, that's how Null keeps getting airborne. Boom. Now that is unpredictable. Boom. All three missing. I'm shocked. My frame rate is also shocked. And the blinding lights and Abscodominus separate. Blinding lights suffering massively from stability issues, likely due to the harpoon pulling it over. Abscodominus suffering from also issues of a different nature. My god. Abscodominus is disarmed, which means Blinding Lights wins this round. I don't know how, I've got to run this again. That was too improbable for me to believe it will happen twice. You know what I really miss? Being able to set a firing delay on your cannons. I know they said, oh, you know, it was just a noob trap and it actually just lowered your DPS, but that first volley, that first shot, really would win games in tournaments. If you could wait 2 seconds and have your first cram shot be on target, that was huge. Speaking of cram shells, did a frag from one of those cram shells just detonate the other shell before it hit Null's ship? Wild. Blinding Lights beginning to dive again. Abscodominus coming in. And my word. History repeats itself. I'm guessing these are spin blocked up so that they rotate instantly. Multiple spin blocks. Maybe it's just one setting angle really, really fast with huge motor drive or something, but... well, I can't argue with the facts. Null is once again defeated by... I may have to reassess that statement. Where once there was cram, now there is hole. Null's disarmed. Blinding Lights isn't dead. So I suppose technically, Blinding Lights wins this round again. If it can manage to stay afloat. Yeah. Yeah, I'll pay that. Blinding Lights is floating. 2 for 2. Congratulations, Joshy. See, that could have easily won the tournament if I'd gone up against... And I think... Scalpel. I think Scribbles wanted to see a Null fight as well. So I'll chuck this in. Tab out real quick, see what people have said. Scorpion. I remember Scorpion's ship. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember it. Let's see. Besh Gang. Well, the shields are blocking the Besh, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. Things are not looking good for the Scalpel. This is at 8-8, right? Yeah, I did load in the Newbie Rumble rules. So I guess it's just bad luck that the ocean depth is too deep for Null to trigger his weapons on. I probably should have listed the ocean depth in the tournament rules. Then again, I didn't start this tournament, so I take no responsibility. Scribbles is not killed by random chance. And last but not least, because we're gonna do 2. We'll do the Wheel of Pain while we're here, just for funsies. Who else wanted one? Scorpion. Don't worry, buddy. I'll make it happen. Was there any other mystery match I wanted to try out? I probably wanted to run Blinding Lights against something. You know what? While this is winding up, let me go take a look at the tournament bracket. Crash my graphics card in 3, 2, 1. Ooh boy, I don't even want to think about what's happening to the recording quality right now. I'm not losing frames at least. The Wheel of Pain is doing surprisingly well, considering its crams. And it's intercepting a lot of those torpedoes. And Null did not detonate this time. Now that's a meaty whack. Wheel of Pain dead? No. Null dead? No. This time, by random chance, the sea is deep enough. Let's have a look at these brackets. A Joshi vs. Joshi fight would be fun, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it. I still have to do Scorpions. Oh, of course, the FOD vs. Big Scary Man. That has to happen. What happened here? Oh, yep. Defeat. Okay. Where's Scorpion? Derpy Boat, it's your time to shine. Having all your weapons exposed in the front will not be a disadvantage in this fight, considering the nuke is going to try and hit your center back here. How long is that particle cannon anyway? Not too long. Now, what's going on in here? You gotta have an AI in this cavity. It's not offering any buoyancy. Weird. Ooh. I love how these look like ribs. Also, not an air cavity, which is, as best I can tell, which is a little odd. Is it just all up props? You could have just stuck an air pump in there. Saved some engine power. Let's see how Null's doing. Oh boy. Well, Null's definitely getting whacked. And they are meaty, meaty whacks. They're not in critical areas, though. Surface torpedoes, I'm guessing. It's always good to include one of those depth thingos. Anyway. Ooh. Null is once again sabotaged by the ocean floor. But not enough to prevent that. Was that a engine kill? Oh. And if that wasn't an engine kill, that was definitely an engine kill. Is this all air? That's fortunate for the Derpy Boat. Hey, actually, would you look at that? Above 80% and not sinking. The Derpy Boat has beaten Absquataminis. Potentially by random chance. I mean, Christ, look at that. Where was the AI to survive that? Are those laser paths? I didn't know the Derpy Boat had lasers. I guess it must. Yep. Yeah, it does. Okay, well, that's that. Moving on to the FOD. Versus the Beast. Actually, let's do a Null versus the Beast as well, because the Beast could beat me. I think the Beast did beat me, didn't they? Or did I record those matches? Did I win? No, someone else took out the Beast for me. I basically, when I fought the Beast, I was relying on critical hits to the up props and running it out of material so it would sink to the up deady blades. If I couldn't get that hit, the Beast would beat me every time because of just how much health it would have. It was ridiculous. I think its armor was even strong enough to block my particle cannon. Like, absurd durability on this thing. Wait, is this a Beast v Beast? That's not what we wanted. Get out of here. This is what we came to see. The beast is firing a mix of kinetic and squash, I believe, or hesh, one of the two. So likely not going to help it much against Null. But we'll see. How are those torpedoes doing? Yeah, the shells are powerful. They're very powerful. Maybe it was Thump. It might have been Thump. Oh, of course, the heavy lasers on the beast are going to shut down the torpedoes from Null. But Null is closing quickly. Hold on. Is that an important piece? Yeah, it doesn't look important. The whacker is still intact. That's all that matters. The beast is retreating. Is it retreating faster than Null is advancing? It might be. If Null can keep launching missiles... No. The beast's weakness is repairs, costing it a lot. That's how you run it out of materials quickly. Unfortunately for Null, he's not closing in quickly. Oh, no, yeah, he is. He's closing fast enough. And will we get a whack? Tragically, no whack for Null. Not yet, at least. There we go. Now that... This may be a kill. Yeah, it seems the Deady Blades are gone, which means the beast will sink. Congratulations, Null, you have slain the beast. Now on to FOD vs. Beast. Jeff the Juggernaut. The Sultan of Small Missiles. The I don't know. I was gonna go with Tsar of another S word, but I couldn't think of one. What's like a regent of... Are these being decoyed? They seem like they're really struggling to home in. Oh. They're making it in now though. The lasers are not stopping them. Not at all. But the armor is. The armor is devastatingly effective against high explosive hits. The beast is a very intelligent design, because of course, its weakness, it's very resistant to high explosives. Its weakness is kinetic hits. But of course it won't take any kinetic hits below the water, because all kinetic damage bar particle cannons is APS, which you want firing above the water level. Which just means turret cap damage, mostly. And turret cap damage was a big issue for it, but not big enough. As we can see, the lasers are doing their best, but they're not perfect. Ooh dear. The beast wasn't designed to take it from behind, it seems. Both ships on equal health. Let's see how Jeff's doing. Getting pounded, but surviving pretty well. Repairing actively. There goes the gun, but I think the gun was probably always a secondary weapon. No need to worry about it too much. Now these are not on target. Perhaps Null has lost a lot of accuracy? Perhaps the first few are meant to be sonar and they're just going wherever? Let's have a look at the current accuracies. Oh yeah, Null's off by 20 meters, but that doesn't explain just the level of inaccuracy we're seeing here. There must be some decoy bullshit going on. But I don't remember the beast having decoys. Strange. Jeff is running out of materials faster than the Beast is, and the Beast won't sink without some good hits, which Jeff is currently incapable of landing. What is going on? Jeff, buddy. You, my friend, are having some serious targeting issues. What are you aiming at? Aren't these things computer controlled? Oh well, this volley of missiles is equally off target. Like, tragically off target. I don't know why they're, I can't see a decoy out here. I'm gonna have to give this one to the Beast, because, Jeff is gonna run out of materials and is totally incapable of even targeting the Juggernaut. Targeting the Beast. So, are there any battles left for me to do? Let's look at the brackets one more time. You know what? I might call it. I think we've filmed enough. Yeah, we've filmed enough. I think it's been an amazing rumble. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Later. OBS is out. Audacity is out.